From the moment we are born, we are expected to strive for success, to be the best we can be, reach for the stars, reach for our goals, and make our parents proud. Well, today I ask myself, what is the real meaning of success? My name is Kuli Chana, the Motswako originator, and I'm a South African performing artist. And as a kid, my dream was to become a famous rapper. I worked hard, and that dream came true. And before I knew it, I was filling out venues, records at the #1 spot, touring the world, rubbing shoulders with the greatest. Man, I was on top of my game, at the peak of my career, when suddenly, boom, it all came to a halt when I got shot. And since that moment, I realized that there must be more to life. So my journey has just begun. So I want to introduce you to 4 South African trailblazers who are redefining success. These are people who create and develop a better world. I'm on a quest to find inspiration in the young talent of South Africa. And I want you to come with me on this remarkable journey. Let's go. Oh, wow. Oh, yes. And this is where the journey begins, huh? We're gonna be hanging out with a real legend, the real king of the jungle. He goes by the name Misha Teasdale, the co-founder of Green Pop. Bro. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you.
Yeah?
Lovely to have you here.
Where are we, man? What is this?
So this is the Platbos Forest.
Yeah?
It's the southernmost forest in Africa. It's a bit of a jewel in terms of space because it's Afro-montane forest and coastal forest that are kind of merged and created this beautiful little piece of indigenous land. And it's also super special because there's only a small slither of it left. I did a production job. I flew around the world with a good friend of mine. And I think through the whole process, also seeing like, I'm in my early 20s, mid-20s, I suppose kind of peaking on a career level, you know, to be able to get an opportunity to fly around the world and do a documentary, that's exciting stuff. But then starting to think about the difference between success and significance and realizing I want to live more in that significant space.
Wow, man. Tell me about Green Pop.
So Green Pop is a social enterprise. We planted 34,000 trees here in the last 6 years. This is a map of the forest area, and the reforestation site for the most part has happened over here.
I mean, you are physically, literally changing your world.
Our mission is to reconnect people with the planet and themselves. So we've got a whole festival ahead of us. This weekend coming,
Yeah.
I'm trying to plant between 5,000 and 6,000 trees. While the tree total for me is important, what we're finding is more important is all the different conversations, the dialogue that happens during the festival. This is the main bonfire space, so we normally have 2 or 3 benches deep, which is really cool because you got a lot of people kind of crammed around one space. During the festival, we'll have like a whole bunch of people that'll just bring instruments. So part of the packing list is tools. Another thing is bring an instrument. This is going to be our tea bar, so the whole selection of beautiful teas. Further down this way, we've got a teepee, which is where a bunch of our teams stay. I live in a bucket flats and I try to talk to my neighbors. I feel like I'm not entirely part of a community, and I feel like we need to get there. That's why I love festivals, because you're creating a temporary community. There is no one that comes to this festival that doesn't feel like they could start a conversation.
The meaningful connections.
Have a meaningful connection. Being in a place where you're all about to run a marathon, and at the end of the marathon, everyone wins, that emotion, that experience that you go through, that's a life-changing experience.
Wow. You have a strong connection with nature.
Yeah, I do.
Where does your passion, where does all of that come from?
Whether you like being in nature or not, after a certain amount of time, you're going to realize that your tempo, your energy within yourself starts to slow down beautifully. And you start to have, I suppose, more balance.
Yeah?
You know, when I'm here, I feel a sense of spirit.
Yeah.
And I feel connected.
So this is the milkwood, huh?
I mean, as majestic and beautiful as a tree could be, this is incredible. There's all these kind of gnarly, interesting shapes that's happened. And after over a 1,000-year-old period, this tree has essentially realized we need to build muscle. And what's really beautiful about it is you look at it from an ecosystem perspective, there is an abundance of plant material living inside this tree.
Is there a name for like the connection between human and trees?
Oh man,
Is there?
Hey? Peace.
I like that. I like that. Would you say that you found your purpose now?
I'd say I found a purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the entirety of my purpose.
Yeah.
I'm at the beginning of my journey. You know, things like you get thrown just these massive challenges constantly when you're in the social enterprise space.
Yeah.
And if you look at them in the wrong way, there will always be a challenge. But if you look at them in the right way, they become the way.
Yeah.
And if they become the way, then that journey becomes that much more interesting, and your adaptability becomes that much more exciting because you can make something out of it. If I could give advice to anyone in the world, I'd say, give yourself a big, hairy challenge that you think you could never accomplish, and try and get 80% of the way there. You don't have to go the whole way, but give yourself a destination, whatever it is. Alien vegetation in this environment, a lot of it is serious fire hazard, and it is, and so that's been cleared out of this space and many other spaces around here. And you got this big, beautiful bank of indigenous vegetation here.
Yeah.
And then on this side, you've got nothing short of Mordor, you know, is a small amount of monoculture, alien vegetation. You've got the remnants of previous fires, which is not great. And in essence, that's the threat. I need to plant a tree with you. I'm going to show you how we plant trees here in this forest.
Let's do it.
So when the rain falls, it's naturally going to gravitate downwards. So what we want to do is we want to capture that rain. And we're going to do that by creating a little wall like this. We have these trees, and then we add all this alien vegetation mulch. And it's going to feed these trees. It's going to hold moisture. It's going to provide nutrients.
I ain't done this in a while. Like, this used to be punishment for me, yo.
And you are a natural.
Therapeutic, huh?
Push it in there.
I used to watch my gran do the garden all the time, and she looked so calm and peaceful, like.
Man, you just planted your first tree.
Like that, huh? Creating life.
Alrighty, should we do another one?
Yeah, let's go for it. So going forward, what are the challenges?
I suppose for me, one of the challenges is on a personal level, and that is staying inspired. Keeping your heart, keeping your mind, keeping everything else that's the momentum behind you, keeping that going, that for me is one of the hard things.
Yeah.
And it's knowing how do you balance that energy?
Yeah.
You know, where do you draw your inspiration from?
What keeps you motivated?
What keeps you motivated? Because the difference between your success and your failure is deciding not to get back up. It does become very tiring. You know, a lot of my friends, they got corporate jobs, they've been hustling for a long time, and now all of a sudden things are looking peachy.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it looks enticing. But you have an event like this and you experience the beauty and the nature and the momentum and the people and the passion and the horsepower and all that other good stuff, and it fills the cup.
You're a winner, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Cool. One day, we're all gonna die. You're not gonna think to yourself, did I have a bank full of money? Did I get to the end of my list? Those are the things you're not gonna think about. What you're gonna think about is, did I have significant relationships with the people in my community? Did I add more than I subtracted? Did I have purpose?
The trees are a metaphor of what we need in this country, and that's growth. And when I'm here, I feel a sense of spirit, I feel significant, and remember that once upon a time, we were all connected, and today, the whole world is waking up. So I want you to give yourself the biggest challenge. I mean, go colossal, starting right now. Because I believe you can also bring change. Now, that's what we call a human doing, and not just a human being. Samantha was a Johannesburg attorney who decided to start an organization called Lady Liberty. She moves around the country into under-resourced communities and areas to give free legal advice. Her focus is on educating women on their rights and how to deal with subjects like abuse, spousal support, and divorce. Now, the road has been tough for Sam, but she's a fighter. She has forged ahead, and that's why I want to meet her.
Hi, Philly.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Nice to finally meet you.
Nice
I'm
to
a
finally
fan.
meet you. Are you really?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Geez, this place still intimidates me, huh?
But the High Court?
I mean, it still freaks me out. I mean, I'll tell you all about it later.
Yeah, right.
Do you still remember your first time in the building?
I actually don't. So
Yeah?
my model is very interesting.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
how we actually work is we take the law to the people. So
Okay.
Lady Liberty is in essence a mobile legal office. So we travel to townships
Yeah.
and like really remote areas that can't access this building, that don't even know they can access
wow.
this building, that also feel equally intimidated for a variety of reasons. So I'm
Wow.
trying to debunk and try and demystify the law a bit and just say everyone has a right to access justice, and I'm going out to help them access it.
And why did you feel the need to start this social enterprise? I mean, that versus all the money you could be making.
All the perceived cash and the
Yeah.
glamour and the suitcase and the gown, right? All of that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that out
all
here.
of that you see it, yeah. So I think people who access justice or the law are people who have money, and that for me is a problem.
Yeah.
So that's how it all began.
Tell me about you growing up. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Bulawayo.
Blues.
In Blues, good old skies
Yeah.
in Zimbabwe. So the cultural shift was a bit of a shift for me as well. So we do obviously have poverty, but it didn't shock me to action like when I was in South Africa. So the turning point for me was while working at this Southern African human trafficking helpline. A file came across my desk, and it was a woman who was assaulted by her partner, and when he was done, he put her in a bin and literally set her, I suppose, or the bin on fire. And that haunted me, first of all, because I don't know if she lived or she died. I honestly don't. And sometimes I wonder if she's alive with her scars, or if she lost her life because of like a barbaric act like that. But that was also the moment that I knew that I had to do something. Telling Kuli about the work that we do, how we met, and yeah, I'm sure he just wants to understand a little more on Uluntu and Lady Liberty.
So a lot of the cases that we have involve sexual harassment in the workplace. That's a very big issue that we have. And sometimes the women don't have the resources, not just the resources of being able to know how to enforce their rights, but also just where to go. What do you do? What are your rights
When
in
you
terms
start.
of what do the laws even say? So a lot of the women find themselves in a position where their points of departure does not even exist.
Do you feel like are you getting enough support, or are a lot of us detached from this?
The people that you're impacting the most, you'll always find support from them because they realize the value of your work. If we're going to solve these problems, if we're even going to make a dent, it means that Samantha and I and corporates and governments and all of these key role players need to find a place where we can be able to plug in.
So Mam Ngandweni is Lungster's client.
Right, so Mam Ngandweni's husband is being
husband.
assisted,
Okay.
by our partner, Uluntulo Clinic. But Mama has a passion for the issues that Lady Liberty deals with.
What are the issues now? Like, what's the case?
The vulnerable people here are women in most cases. Most of the women, how I help them, take a woman to court and say, that's the magistrate, this is the prosecutor, the interpreter.
And it's very important.
So you take them through the process.
That's right, that's right.
Everyone should have access to justice, at least your chance of getting your fair trial, just to be heard.
That's
Definitely.
it.
Just to at least have that shot. That's already a lot.
You know, hence you'll hear people saying we are living in a sick world. There's nothing wrong with our world. The men are the ones who are sick. And if we refer men to this men's organization, it's even much better so that they can be counseled, talk men to men, because some of them, they won't even talk to us, you know. Women only prefer to talk to us, whereas men are the ones who are sick.
Yeah, I still believe we need a male, powerful male figure to
to
champion
stand.
this.
Definitely.
To stand,
If we
yeah.
can
We
get
do.
men to champion this.
Lady Liberty, 10 years from now, what do you envision?
First of all, a sustainable organization that's fully staffed with our own legal team. But secondly, I hope to have not only been national, but have crossed South African borders, because the services are not unique to South African women alone.
Okay.
So that's what I really hope to see, but cases solved. Not a long database, cases actually
done.
solved. Cases done, our own finance and our own team, and cross borders.
That's huge.
10 years, I'm working towards it, so yeah. Who's actually read the Bill of Rights? Okay, there's like 2-3 hands, right? So we all know this wonderful constitution. We're sitting in this room, we have access to a lot of stuff. We have great resource. So imagine someone who doesn't even have access. How much do they know or how much do they understand about our rights if we in this room haven't even necessarily read the Bill of Rights? The conferences that we get with the sort of big companies are quite exciting for us, because it's an opportunity for us to generate revenue as a business.
So that's how you scale the business.
Yeah, true.
I was a little worried.
Were you worried about how we're
I
making
was like,
money?
how are you making this go up?
Everyone's very worried all the time. I was actually surprised you hadn't asked yet. Because everyone's like, but how are you surviving? So what we do, one of the ways in which we make that money is the exact same issues that we help women with on the ground. Women in corporate are dealing with the same things. Women are getting married, getting divorced, have maintenance issues, also going through domestic violence. So we tailor-make a package for different companies based on what they feel their staff needs. So it's great for us because it helps with our brand building and also brings in some of that cash.
Another thing I wanted to tap into is the scope of the problem.
Right. Okay. So these are current cases that we're sitting on. It's a lot of cases. So I'm reaching out to my partners, currently trying to establish new partnerships with law firms to say, guys, I've got the cases, here they are. I just don't have enough resource to handle the cases. I can't, I've accepted it. I can't reach every woman that I want to reach physically. It's impossible, right? But everyone's got a phone. So we're saying, how can technology help us extend our services? What we're doing actually is we're looking to develop a mobile app so they can access the same information that I would give verbally with a group of lawyers that volunteer with me on that day, or they can just get it from their phone. There are honestly days where I question myself and I think, can you do this? Why are you even trying to solve something so big? But then I just remember why. And that reignites that spark. So it's really just prayer and meditation that gives me that strength again to just take on another day, push again, take another case, push another lawyer to come on board and sell another workshop and just keep going.
It's amazing how you stay so level-headed.
I don't always feel level-headed.
I don't know how
yeah.
you do it, But, I want to thank you for, I got this need to become a part of something way, way bigger than myself,
That's
and also
amazing.
just to, if I could also just, like I said, tap into the hearts of men now, and just kind of make them more aware, of these issues and these ills. For Sam, fighting domestic violence against women and children was a calling. And having been exposed to the cycle of abuse motivated her to fight back. People's rights were being violated, and those are the situations that unquestionably undermine a woman's sense of worth and independence. She says the law is a tool we can all use to empower ourselves. Prayer and meditation helps Sam push through. She says, I am not a hero. I have just identified the problem and I want to solve it. Calls on that. Hey. Yo, we are deep in the village of Muila in Limpopo to meet this young hustler by the name of Thabang Mabapa, who makes biofuel out of beans. Thabang.
I'm Kuli.
Oreng boss.
Toss. This is Muila village where we do the farming of castor seeds.
I left my Fikeng about 6-7 years back to go hustle in Joburg.
Yeah.
You leave Joburg to come hustle in Muila village.
Yeah. When it comes to farming, it's hard to start a farming business in an urban area.
Yeah,
so I had to, to come, to a place where there was enough land, and even the land had to be, fertile.
Yeah. But what sparked the idea?
We looked at the size of the biodiesel industry. We looked at its growth. We looked at its profitability as well as its relative, weakness of competition. Yeah.
What is biofuel?
Okay, the difference between your conventional and your biodiesel is that biodiesel is clean and it's renewable.
Yeah.
And it can also be produced from either animal fat, vegetable oil, or even waste cooking oil. So we produce ours from vegetable oil.
How did you spot the gap, the opportunity, in the biofuel industry?
We have competition in terms of having, other companies produce biodiesel from either waste cooking oil or your vegetable oil. We've never come across any company that produces biodiesel from castor oil here in South Africa.
Why Muila village? What's your connection with this place, man?
So I have family in Muila village.
Oh.
But prior to me coming to Muila and starting the business here, I went to, I was all over Johannesburg trying to find land where I could start farming the castor seeds. I couldn't find any in Gauteng, and that's when I decided, to come home. So when I came, home to present the idea to the family, they bought into it. We presented to the village, the chief, and the chief gave us a piece of land to demonstrate. We experienced some heavy rains last month.
Oh, so this is what caused all these weeds growing back up.
Yeah, this is what caused it. And it destroyed some of the trees that we had recently planted.
Hey, how bad?
Well, it destroyed almost all of them.
Yeah.
So this is where we're actually currently busy with the land preparations. We started this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've had to start all over?
Yeah, we're starting all over.
But when things like this happen, like the heavy rain, and obviously that, gets you down.
Yeah.
How do you pick yourself up again?
We've had to start with nothing, literally nothing. So having faced so many challenges before and having come out strong, it really has motivated us to, carry on and keep pushing.
Yo, Thabang, this is huge, man. How big is this land?
So in total, this land that we'll be working on, we'll be working on about 300 hectares of land. Each hectare produces about 2.3, 2.4 tons of castor seeds.
Is the team big enough?
I think the team, we're gonna need more because we've got volunteers. So we've got 15 employees at the farm.
Yeah.
But then we have about 64, 65 volunteers that come on board. Yeah.
And keeping them motivated.
Yeah,
and you
them
young.
motivated.
How do you lead?
My approach is that of a learner. They're willing to also learn from me. So when me focusing on what I'm good at.
You drive the vision. That's what you do.
I drive the vision. I focus more on the business side of things, making sure that everyone knows their role, and them focus on what they're good at. We get to create a good company. Castor seeds produce castor oil, right? Yeah. So we've converted to biodiesel, which we use on our tractor.
This tractor here?
Yeah, this tractor is running on biodiesel.
Fair, but when do can I get a shot?
Let's try it out.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We can now start sowing.
Gee, cannot believe that's how small it starts, and then from that
to something
to biodiesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we about to head back to Joburg so Thabang can show me how the biodiesel is made in the lab. But before we do, you got something to show me, right?
Yeah, I do have something to show you.
Yeah.
Now this over here,
check that
the
out.
castor plant.
This is what it looks like?
Yeah, this is what it looks like. It's only 4 weeks old. You burst open the spike, and you're gonna find 3 seeds.
And I hear these are
poisonous. So if you were to swallow 2 beans, you're gone, you're dead.
It's a wrap.
You're dead.
So we've been to the bean farm in Mwila village. Now we're about to see some magic. See the process from bean to biodiesel and talk a little bit about Thabang's ambitions. It's about to get serious.
So these are the labs. This is where we do the actual processing.
What do we have here?
These are the castor seeds.
Yeah.
Right? So we de-shell them. So the shell we use as catalyst to prepare for your biodiesel. So once you have the de-shelled, beans, you start crushing them.
Damn, okay. Yo, but this is also a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work. We now go to the castor seed pre-treatment.
The alcohol and your crushed castor seeds.
Kind of looks like jungle oats.
Make sure you don't eat these. Make sure. Please.
Hey, looks yummy though. Okay.
So after this, the next process will be to heat it, which is the solvent extraction. What solvent extraction does is we just remove the solvent out of this and also take out some water, because water, we don't need it. So the next process that will come after this process, the hydrogenation process.
Hydro what?
Hydrogenation, yeah. So the
I'm a rapper, I'm just a rapper. You gotta take it slow.
We have finally our product, which is the castor oil, right? So we go to other processes, which is the trans-esterification.
Trans-esterification.
Yes,
You
Kuli.
heard that?
Yes, Kuli. So what we actually do here, we mix our castor oil with the acid catalyst and the alcohol.
So the reaction between the methanol and the castor oil
Yeah, the oil.
gives you
The
final product.
which is
Biodiesel.
biodiesel.
As a consumer, you get to give back by keeping our air clean.
Yeah. Using, biodiesel from castor oil is that you don't even need to modify your engines. We don't want to produce, biodiesel only.
Yeah.
So we're going to produce biodiesel, biojet fuel.
I should probably quit rap, huh? Come join you guys.
Come join us. Come join
This
us.
is big. So it all started with a vision of producing renewable energy, a local solution to a global problem. Through him, we get to see the opportunity that access to land offers, the hierarchy of ownership, and the legacy of land, the importance of generational interaction around issues of communal concern. This is a guy that reminds us to never forget about the dream and always keep the end in mind and stay building. That's my kind of guy. The next amazing woman we're about to meet goes by the name Thato Kgatlhanye. Started her company at the age of 18. She didn't have product, but she had an idea. Inspired by the need for school bags and electricity to do homework. Her mother played a big role in influencing her to help those in need and to have an impact on people. She only teams up with the hungriest, and that's her recruitment philosophy. She believes that ideas are not perfect and that entrepreneurs put a lot of pressure on themselves and that they should trust their ideas and execute. And I like that women empowerment comes easy to Thato Kgatlhanye. What's up?
I grew up in such an environment where, my mom's a nurse.
Yeah?
So very empathetic towards people, cares about, not like she never spoke about like how sick her patients were. She was always like, my patients have so much life. And
Wow.
I think from a young age, I kind of tapped into that and I was like, wow. And where my entrepreneurial spirit kind of came out in a very interesting way, obviously my way. Yeah.
But what inspired the repurposed bag, school bag idea?
I had a conversation with my mother and she was like, we didn't have shoes or bags or anything. And she said to me, Thato, you're so creative. Mara, your creativity doesn't do anything for your people.
For your community,
For your community. And if I want to be best in the world, how can I frame my world in such a way that it also looks at people in the community and change their lives? When we started off, it was just kind of like, what do we have? And we have a lot of waste. So what if we could turn waste into material, textiles, and just kind of playing with the idea. When I see this, I see money, I see potential. From here, we go inside the factory where it's washed. Their job is to kind of wipe the branding off of the plastic so that we get just the color. Every station has a logbook of how much each individual is like wiping per hour. And then the supervisor's job is to check that all the targets and all the stations are running at the same time. So once they've dried, it gets heated for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So when we bought this, we had no clue if it would work. It was a huge risk, an expensive
Winging, yeah?
Yeah, it's like wing it.
Oh, cool. So from here, then it goes.
It comes out,
Yeah.
and then we want to show you what it looks like. So it's this black bag. It's now pressed together to make a textile. I mean, it looks like leather.
Damn. Magicians.
What's that?
Orbului.
I mean, this is what the end product looks like. This is what people see. This is what people celebrate. And a lot of, entrepreneurs want fussy things and, gimmicks. And it's like, you want to have the thing perfect before you show anyone. And the funny thing, when we started raising money, we had like one sample.
Yeah.
It was like horrible. Our first bag.
Whoa, check that out. Whoa, looks like real plastic.
Yeah,
There is zero swagger here.
right? It's just like, no one wants to fund this idea, right? It's difficult to convince someone to fund this, but from this, you get that.
Ideas are not perfect. Yeah, so stop sleeping on your ideas. And I know a lot of musicians like that who will have songs on their PC for years.
And it's like,
Still
dude,
mixing.
Like, no.
Just release the damn thing on it. Check out the light. This light fits in the bag.
Yeah, and a child can't read at night. Do I have access to a light source that allows me to read my favorite storybooks? So this is our sewing station.
Yeah.
They weren't formally trained as seamstresses. So when they walked through that door, they didn't know how to sew. It's just understanding how bad do you want it. So the rule of thumb with everyone is the only people that get to work here are those that want it bad enough.
Fashion week, here we come, yo.
And slowly,
Damn, it's not as easy as it looks, eh? This shows that talent is not enough. Skill is like beating on your craft every day.
Yes.
Going from sewing 1
to 15.
to 15.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
In a day. I want to build a business that I would have wanted to be a part of, fresh out of university. Because when I got out, I looked around and I was like, I don't want to be a part of these companies. Like, nothing excites me. Nothing has, like meaning and purpose. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go build exactly what it is I wish existed and see how that grows. Yeah.
Now we're about to, head back to the city of gold, Joburg City, and go check out Thato's offices in Rosebank, right?
Yeah.
And go check out the bags in action in Kgatlhanye at a primary school.
There's so many things I'm...
Ladies, how you doing?
Hi.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Cool. What are the benefits of running a young, woman-driven business?
It's such a blessing, to be in a country where we've got so many young people with so much energy and a hunger to kind of put work out there that is meaningful, particularly like with the management team. I mean, you felt the room and the energy.
How did you assemble the team? Or you guys all met here?
As millennials, it's like, how do we find someone who's good at like finance and HR and whatever? And it was like, Twitter.
Yeah. What are you guys working on now?
So what we're going to be doing is manufacturing luxury, quality, beautiful bags made from recycled leather and still incorporating the recycled plastic. So that purchase, so it's a 1-for-1. So you buy a Kiama bag for you, and we give a child a school bag.
Every day that you wake up, go out there, do whatever it is that is going to set your soul on fire, and you will just be able to kind of see that, in fact, when you do that work, the world is going to be saying to you, we are waiting.
Sharp? Langiti? Kinamam? If you have a repurposed bag, let me put it up in the air. Let me see it. Okay, Bon. So this is the repurposed school bag. So this is your solar way. This is your light. This is electricity for those that don't have lights at home. There you have it. How thoughtful. It's amazing stuff, man. Thank you, Zbua. You've been awesome. Your heart must sing.
Yo, I'm really overwhelmed to receive this kind of a donation to our school.
And how many were donated?
Yo, I think they donated about 200 to 300 bags to our learners.
So we've seen the kids in action, the bags in action, and how, you know, they've put a smile on their faces, and just how that has changed their lives, you know. And that's what I'm gonna take from this whole experience, you know, that if you're not doing anything to change anybody's life positively, then what's the point, right? And this experience, this is a game changer, and suddenly my life and my journey is bigger than a hit song, right? Ain't that something? That, you know, it's just changed my whole perspective, and that it just made me want to now give more of myself. And I'm really looking forward to it, you know, starting a whole new journey, and we're about to change the world.
When I see the meaningful way in which these social change makers have turned nothing into something, I too begin to believe that we can create a better world. Like Misha said, looking at significance and success, now I know that I want to live in a more significant space. Now I want you to ask yourself, did I add more than I subtracted? And most importantly, do I have purpose? For Samantha, prayer and meditation drive her to push through another day, another case. Thabang taught me that the best approach to leading is learning. And these are people who are inspired by the problems around them. A dream, a dreamer. Look, man, if you're not doing anything to help change anyone's life, then really what's the point? Come on, set your soul on fire, contribute. The whole world is waiting. These are wise words from Thato. We're about to change the world, man, one person at a time. A solution revolution. These are innovators, creators, leaders of the future, and their stories inspire me. And they have taught me that you cannot be human all by yourself. Celebrating a world of limitless possibility and the ones who chase for it, one great story at a time. Our dreamers have been awakened, and now it's our purpose to awaken you. I believe that we all have the innate power to be the change that we want to see in the world. The rise of us takes you into the mind of the change makers and not only awaken the power within, but reaches out a hand to give you front row access of promise and hope. Your awakening, your journey, the adventure begins when you recognize the fire in you.